Hi, my name is Erin Horn. I'm the Youth Programs and Training Manager here at 1 in 5, and I am really excited to share a little bit about Sources of Strength over the next couple weeks with you all. Sources of Strength is an evidence-based, comprehensive wellness program that focuses on suicide prevention, but it also impacts other areas such as substance abuse, bullying, and violence. Sources believes that many strengths are more powerful than one, and their united goal is to activate and mobilize these strengths in ways that really positively change individuals and communities. Um, Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to dive into the core of Sources of Strength, which is really their wellness wheel. We're going to look at the different components of it so that you all might have an opportunity to reflect on how these areas are showing up for you and where you might want to intentionally grow. But before we even dive into that, I want to share a little bit with you where Sources lives in terms of the prevention framework. So in order to really understand where we're living in terms of suicide prevention, Sources loves to share this parable. I want you to imagine that there's an elder that lives along this river edge, and every day the elder goes out for a walk and really just enjoying nature. And one day the elder's on their walk and they hear a shout coming from the river. They look over and they see a young person coming down the river headed toward that waterfall edge. So they spring into action, pull the person to safety, deliver CPR, and a life is saved. The next day, the elder's on their walk again, and another person comes. And then day after day after day, the elder is trying to save students who are coming down the river. So the elder goes to the community and says, we have a problem. The community agrees, they activate, they build watchtowers, they train as many people as they can in CPR, they put 24/7 watch schedules together, and they're able to save a lot of lives, which is amazing work. However, they're not able to save everybody. Sometimes the young people are linking arms and they can't get to them. Sometimes the current is just too strong and it pulls them under. And so one day the elder is on a duty and they start walking upstream along the river edge. And the people on shift with the elder scream out, "Where are you going? This is all hands on deck." And they say, "I'm walking upstream to find out where they're falling in the first place." So this really places us in terms of where Sources lives within suicide prevention, right? Their primary mission is really focusing on the necessary tools, coping skills we all need to really meet the challenges of life in the healthiest way possible. So that if we notice we're starting to fall into the river, we might be able to right ourselves before then, or we might be able to swim to shore when the water's still tranquil. And so really that is where the Sources of Strength wheel is going to be focused. So what I love about Sources is the focus on wellness instead of the focus on risk factors or warning signs for a variety of ailments or challenges. In a world where we primarily focus on the negative or the illness, Sources turns that narrative on its head, right? And instead asks, what do I do to stay well? How do I move through difficult times to live in health and recovery? We're flipping the script and we ask the question, how does someone feeling suicidal get better? How does someone that experiences violence or has been abused get through that and move toward healing and live in recovery? We need more dialogue around that. Yes. We want to know what recovery feels like, what it looks like. We can't only talk about what hurts. We need to talk about what helps people get through tough times, help people tell their stories of strength, encourage them to recover out loud, which normalizes recovery, help seeking, and resilience. This strength focus also helps us in the community space, right? We don't want to talk about what the community lacks. Instead, we're going to elevate and help reflect back to people what strengths they can tap into. Our goal isn't to just keep people alive, but rather to shed light on the ways people can lean on strengths to get them through difficult times so they can live a healthy life. Really, that idea that a rising tide lifts all boats is so true. And when we tap into these strengths, we don't need to be in crisis, and we shouldn't have to wait till we're in crisis to tap into the strengths that help us be well. So here it is, the wellness wheel. Next week, we are going to take a look at family support, positive friends, and mentors, which is really, when you think about it, our connection piece. The week after that, we're going to take a look at healthy activities, generosity, spirituality. And then we're going to take a look at physical health and mental health. right? And again, Sources likes to think about, we want to be tapping into multiple strengths so that we can stay as well as possible. There's also an ebb and a flow to all of these strengths. Yeah. Sometimes in life, we might feel really strong in a couple areas and maybe not as strong in others. And so we can intentionally grow in the areas that we don't feel as strong in. And then there might be situations where the areas we used to feel strong aren't as strong anymore. And so we can lean into the other areas. And as we go through this week, if you're interested in bringing sources to your school or community group, we would love for you to reach out to our program manager, Christine Browner. You can reach her at Christine_Browner at onein5.org. And you can learn more about the Sources of Strength Ohio program at sourcesofstrengthohio.org. Right now, this program is completely covered through grant funding. As I said, next week, we're going to take a look at family support, positive friends, and mentors, which really is that connection piece. So I want to leave you with this little quote, teaser, if you will. And this comes from Dr. Brene Brown. I like to think that we're friends, even though she doesn't know who I am. But she says, connection is why we're here. We're hardwired to connect with others. It's what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. And without it, there is suffering. So I cannot wait for you to follow along and tap into and learn about family support, positive friends, and mentors.